so this video is for Tuesday, March 31st. So like we begin every class, we're going to start out with our mug shot. I wrote it on the board, so I'm just going to scoot over, pause the video if you have to, and go ahead and make those corrections. Okay, so I'm going to come in with my red marker and then correct anything that needs to be corrected. And when I'm done, you can go ahead and check it. So first things first is that the W needs to be capital because it's the beginning of a sentence. So when a llama gets mad, it spits bad smelling. There needs to be a hyphen between bad and smelling. Saliva into there needs to be its. Enemies needs to be E-N-E-M-Y. Apostrophe S. Face, and it needs to end with a period. Okay, so go ahead and correct anything that you missed. If you got them all right, then great job. Okay, so go ahead and get out your list 23 and also get out your grammar worksheet, lesson 93, which is on page 293 and 294. So I made a little adjustment to this week's classwork. So I had originally put lesson 93 and 94 in your folder because I wanted you to do both lessons this week, but instead I'm just going to save lesson 94 for next week, and we're just going to work on lesson 93 this week because it has two parts, and I just wanted y'all to get a good grasp on it. So again, get out your list 23, get out your grammar worksheet lesson 93, which is on page 293 and 294, and then go ahead and get out your literature assignment that it's titled Cannibals at Work, and it's on page 141 through 146. So that's what you are going to need for the rest of your video. Okay, so first you're going to need to have your lesson 93 in front of you because that's what we're going to get started on, and that is on page 293 and 294. So look at the front of lesson 93, which is page 293. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So today we're going to be talking about spelling I-E and E-I. So I wrote it all on the board for you. So when you're working with I-E and E-I, the I comes before the E. However, I comes before E except when both letters follow C, or when both letters are pronounced together as an A sound. And also there are many exceptions to this rule. So many exceptions to this rule exist. Okay, so let's go ahead, and I wrote some examples for you guys so that we can get a better grasp on it. So let's go ahead and look at these examples. And these examples are also on page 293 for your lesson 93. Okay, so the first example is the word believe. So remember, I comes before E except when both letters follow C. So are both letters following a C in the word believe? No. And whenever these two letters are pronounced together, is it making a long A sound? No, it's not. And this word is not an exception. So because none of those apply, the I would come before the E in this case. So believe, it would be I-E. I comes before the E. So now let's look at the word receive. Okay, so in this case, remember, I comes before the E, like we used in believe, except when both letters follow a C. So in this case, both letters are following a C. So in this case, E would come before the I because both of these letters are following a C. So it'd be receive, R-E-C-E-I-V-E. So now let's go look at the third example, which is the word ate. Okay, so whenever you put these two letters together, E and I, it sounds like the word, it makes an A sound. It makes a long A sound. So remember, I comes before E except when both letters follow a C or when both letters are pronounced together as an A sound. So in this case, these letters make a long A sound. So ate. You hear that A sound in there? So therefore, E would come before the I and the word ate. Okay, now our last example is the word height. Okay, so it says I comes before E except when both letters follow C, like in receive, or when both letters are pronounced together as an A sound, like we saw in the word ate, and however many exceptions to this rule exist. So height would be an exception to this rule, and that is why the E comes before the I in the word height. Go ahead and look at the top of page 293 for lesson 93. So we already went over spelling I-E and E-I. So we already read that, so we went over that together. So go ahead and look at spelling unstressed vowels. It says an unstressed vowel is a vowel sound that is not emphasized when the word is pronounced. For example, in combination, the second syllable by is unstressed. To determine how an unstressed vowel is spelled, think of a related word in which that syllable is stressed. To determine the spelling of the second syllable in combination, think of the word combine. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to exercise 1. So look down at exercise 1 and we're going to work on some of those together. So the instructions say write each word adding the missing vowel or vowels. So the first example, it has an example already done for you. So let's go ahead and look at that first. And that is, it's supposed to be achieve. So it's A-C-H and then it has a blank V-E, because we're supposed to determine if the I comes before the E in these words or if E comes before I. So based on the rules that we just learned, we have to fill in the blank and determine if I comes before E or E comes before I. Okay, so achieve. So remember, I comes before E except when both letters follow a C. So both letters are not following a C in this case. Or when they are pronounced together as an A sound. When we say achieve, it's not pronounced, the two letters I and E are not pronounced as an A sound. And this also is not an exception, because it says, however, many exceptions to this rule do exist. So achieve, in this case, I would become before the E, because again, it's not following a C. And whenever you pronounce the two letters together, it doesn't make an A sound. So therefore, I comes before E in achieve, in the word achieve. So let's go ahead and look down at number 1. So retrieve, it's supposed to be, the word is supposed to be retrieve. And it's R-E-T-R, and then it leaves a blank, V-E. So we're supposed to figure out if I comes before E in the word retrieve or E comes before I in the word retrieve. Okay, so in this case, well, remember, I comes before E except when both letters follow a C. So both letters are not following a C in this case. Or when they are pronounced together as in a long A sound. That's not happening here either. And this word is also not an exception. So therefore, it would be I before E in this case. So retrieve would be spelled R-E-T-R-I-E-V-E. So let's go ahead and look down at number 2. So the word is supposed to be veil. So it leaves a blank, V, and then it leaves a blank, and then the letter L follows it. So the word is veil. So remember, I comes before E except when both letters follow a C. So in this case, both letters are not following a C. Or when both letters are pronounced together as an A sound. Whenever you say the word veil, that comes out as a long A sound. Therefore, E would come before the I in number 2. So it'd be veil, V-E-I-L, veil. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and let you guys do the rest of exercise 1 on your own. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me or message me on GroupMe, and I'll get back to y'all as soon as possible. So I went ahead and wrote y'all's homework on the board for you, or I'm sorry, your classwork on the board for you. So today's classwork, you need to complete list 23, your spelling words and vocabulary words, write them 1 time each. And also do the exercise A and B on list 23, just like you'll always do every week. You're also going to need to complete the grammar worksheet lesson 93, which is on page 293. You're going to need to complete exercise 1 on that page, which is what we were just going over together right now. And then lastly, you're going to need to complete your literature assignment, which is titled Cannibals at Work, which is on pages 141 through 146. So you're gonna need to go ahead and read that literature assignment and then complete the Think It Through. And then make sure whenever you're doing the Think It Through that you write your answers in complete sentences. All right, guys, so that was it for today, and I will see y'all next time.